here's an archetype from the GX era that many of you were probably wondering for a long time, does it actually fall under the Cyber Angel archetype? And the answer is no. There is one card though in the recent wave of support that basically screams Cyber Angel support right now, although Cyber Angels actually got some new recent support cards that actually makes them relevant, so yeah, there's that update. But anyway, this is the Cyber Girl archetype used by Asuka Tenjoin only in GX. Well, there is that one card that was used in Arc 5, but we'll get to that. But anyway, this archetype focuses on attacking directly most of the time, as we'll see. And yeah, it's your typical schizophrenic GX era pack filler archetype, and yeah, let's try to not lose our cools that fast and start up with the first monster, that being Cyber Tutu. It's a level 3 with 1000 attack and 800 defense, and it's a warrior, so yeah, that's all that matters. If the attack of each monster your opponent controls is higher than the attack of this card can attack your opponent directly. Well, I hope you're like proud of your when direct attacking for this one turn, because this poor little ballerina over here is going to get pounded really hard by the opponent's insane amount of board of link monsters their turn comes around. So yeah, not very worth it, I'm afraid. So yeah, and next up we have Etoile Cyber. This is a level 4 with 1200 attack and 1200 attack and 1600 defense. I got a bit confused there. Anyway, yeah, if this card attacks your opponent directly, it gains 500 attack during the damage calculation only. During damage step only, sorry. Yeah. Infected Male Turbo, everyone. Does anyone else smell Infected Male Turbo? Yeah, because sure as hell I do. Yeah, it doesn't seem like much, but you basically run this thing because one of their monsters actually requires it as fusion materials, so we'll get to that. Anyway, next up we have Cyber Gymnast. This one's a level 4 with 800 attack and 1800 defense. And once per turn you can discard one card and target one face-up attack position monster your opponent controls, destroy that target. Well, time to get rid of those link monsters, folks, because yeah, I mean, it targets any attack position monster, but yeah. Was this like made to like destroy only link monsters back in the day, like some super contrived conspiracy theory in Konami of America or Japan at that point? So yeah, this effect is so ingunly pointless that I actually bought and actually tried to comprehend why they actually decided to print it. If they actually made it to destroy any monster on the field, that I would actually comment a bit different upon it, because for a level 4 with 800 attack for back in the day, that would be a pretty strong effect, no question about it, since it's a once per turn tribute to the Doomed effect. So as it is right now, it's questionable to even consider running it. Hell, all of these are actually questionable to consider running. Next up we have the Vanilla Blade Skater, which exists, part of the archetype due to their fusion monster requiring it as a fusion material, so yay. Anyway, yeah, next up we have their first tribute monster, that being Cyber Tutubon. This is actually a level 5 retrain of Cyber Tutu with 1800 attack and 1600 defense, and you can special summon this card from your hand by tributing one warrior or one fairy type monster from your hand or field. And if this card is tributed for a ritual summon, you can target one ritual spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So yeah, this is this is their only recent support card that actually saw play in Arc 5. And in Cyber Angels at that, because this actually really feels like a Cyber Angel card, because yes, the special summoning condition of tributing a warrior or fairy type monster does actually trigger the effects of Cyber Angels, so yeah. And not to mention that if she's used as a ritual material, you can actually recycle the Machine Angel ritual, so yeah, this feels more like a Cyber Angel card than the freaking Cyber Girl card. So yeah, this is basically a 3-off staple in that deck due to its summoning condition and its floating effect. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, next up we have their final main deck monster, that being the level 6 Cyber Prima with 2300 attack and 1600 defense. And if this card is tribute, summon, destroy all face-up spell cards on the field. Unless you're playing against a very, very heavy pendulum focus deck, or against those Destiny board players, then this effect is very, very impractical and not worth running in the long run. Yeah. Alright, now getting to the interesting part. Here we have their final monster, which is their fusion monster, Cyber Blader. It's a level 7, which requires Etoile Cyber and Blade Skater specifically as fusion materials. And a fusion summon of this card can only be conducted with the above fusion material monsters. While your opponent controls only one monster, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. If the opponent controls only two monsters, this card's attack is doubled. And if the opponent controls exactly 3 monsters, negate the effects of all opponent's spells, traps, and monster effects. So, yeah, for a boss monster, this is actually very interesting due to the TCG effect causing an infinite loop, causing you to perform an illegal move. So, yeah, it's interesting for that reason. But in terms of how its effect actually works, you have to your opponent has to control the exactly 1, 2, or 3 monsters in order for the effects to activate. Hell, the effects don't even stack up on top of each other, which actually makes this card. This could have actually been a fantastic boss monster for its time, actually way ahead of its time back when it was released, but it's full of wasted potential other than this illegal move, the shenanigans I have actually pointed out. So yeah, very, very wasted potential here, and artwork for that matter. And their last card is the trap card Double Passe. When an opponent's monster declares an attack on a face-up attack position monster you control, make your opponent's attack a direct attack instead and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the attack of the monster, the attack target you control. Also, that monster you control can attack your opponent directly during your next turn. If you really crave that direct attacking clause, then just freaking run a Toon deck instead of this. Those guys can attack directly all the time practically, and don't have to put up with these kind of shenanigans. Yeah, this was actually an anime exclusive for a very long time, and it was printed very recently. I believe like 3 or 4 years ago. So yeah, it's really funny. Someone who decided this card should be made into a real card must have really liked ballerinas or something, because I don't even want to question anymore. Great. How do we grade these GX disasters of human race? Alright, they're all warriors, so Rhoda helps in terms of consistency, right? Yeah, the Fusion Conscription can search out Etoile Cyber and Blade Skater, and that's about as far as it goes, so no, 1 out of 3. Power exists in terms of Cyber Prima and Cyber Blader, and those are very rarely ran, so hell, this archetype is very rarely ran, so yeah, 1 out of 3 there. Comeback ability, well, as much as Allies of Justice can make a comeback against the Burning Abyss player, so yeah, that's 1 out of 3 there. Protection is non-existent, really. The only form of protection the archetype has is Cyber Blader's effect if the opponent controls 1 monster, and that's it. Nothing else literally helps in that matter, so 1 out of 3 there as well. And as for the versatility, I guess you can actually make some decent control variants if you with stuff like Cyber Blader and Fabled Unicorn maybe, but this is actually the first time I'm actually bringing up Fabled Unicorn and Cyber Blader in the same sentence, so that's about as irrelevant as it gets, so 1 out of 3 as well. So yeah, according to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wikia, this is supposed to be an archetype, and yeah, I actually do see some actual semblance of an archetype here, but it's like I said in the beginning, it's your schizophrenic GX pack filler archetype when it's not going to rise beyond beyond than that. I'm actually very curious how they actually received a support card very late into the Arc 5 era. So yeah, I'm actually very very afraid that I'm actually going to see a new Cybergirl support card in the new Ignition Assault. Am I? So yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, news and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe. And next time we meet, we're going on through a very exciting road trip in the Archetype Analysis series, and I hope you will like it. Hell, I know you will love it because I know you'll love what I prepared for all you guys out there. See you all. Have a good day and peace.